We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts, Matt Sterling and Brandon Brooks. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to a new edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast, our first one of the preseason here for the 2023-2024 MASL season. If it's your first time here, I'm Matt Sterling. We have Brandon Brooks. Say hello, sir.
Sorry, that was my excited noise.
So a little too excited. I know it's been a while. And,
for context, I just had my tongue sticking out at Matt, which he can clearly see on the camera, and was waving frantically. So picture that in your heads.
Or don't, for your own sanity.
I mean, yeah, I would recommend not, but hey, to each their own.
And we are joined today by the FC Fanatic. In other words, Matt Huber is back once again, frequent guest of the pod.
I don't know. I don't know. After that display, it might be this might be a one-time deal.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe it either.
Guys, it's been a few months since we've had an episode. How you guys doing?
Well, busy.
Yeah, it's been busy, and I think there's been a few announcements that have kind of kept the excitement going. Well, I don't know. Some things are exciting, some things aren't. But the fact of the matter is, it's still MASL related, so it's kind of tying us over until, for us, the combine in a month.
Yeah, we got that coming up. A whole bunch of little bit of news popped up this past week, specifically Utica related, which is why we're throwing this together kind of last minute. And I don't know, where do you guys want to start, with today's announcement or yesterday's announcement?
Either.
No? Do you want to go chronological order?
You got to tease them a little bit. It's you can't just start out with the big news. You gotta give them a little. Give them a little taste, oh, captain, my captain, but not just give it all away. This is just the first date.
Yeah, the one-time thing.
Yeah.
No.
I figured chronological.
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right, so you're saying, unlike the Red Hot Chili Peppers, we shouldn't give it away. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, let's go with that.
All right. Well, we'll back it up then a few months to, let's see what the date was on that.
If it's a trade, it's the
July 27th.
Yeah. I know things for once.
Wait, did you guys talk about the soccer tournament?
No, we haven't mentioned TST at all.
You've been here the whole time. You know what we've talked about.
Oh, but if we're talking chronological, the first thing would be TST, right?
Yeah, I guess that was early June.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, why don't you fill in the listeners? What was TST?
So TST was the soccer tournament held in Cary, North Carolina. It was 7v7? No, 6v6. One of the two. I think it was 6v6. And there were several teams that had, actually a lot of the teams had MASL players. Notably, there were two teams. Well, I'm trying to think. One team had Gordy Gerson and Nate Bordeaux. And one team had Steph Mijatovic, Isak Somau. I'm trying to think if there were any other Utica players. I don't think there were. And Pretty much in the end, a team of MASL stars, including Isak and Steph Mijatovic, won the soccer tournament for $1 million.
$1 million.
And it was on NBC, it was on Peacock, and it was exposing the crowd to the MASL, sort of. I still think a lot of people that were at the tournament still don't know what MASL is, but hopefully we've turned on a few more eyeballs to our sport this season. So, I mean, I think we should give a big congratulations to Newtown Pride, especially Isak and Steph.
And Quentin Swift was also on that.
Yes, Quentin Swift. Q was on there. That's right.
Gordy and Bordeaux were on Kingdom Football Club, or Kingdom FC.
Yep, and that was the first match, Kingdom FC versus Newtown Pride. They were both in the same group, and it was a round robin. And some famous people were on there. Chad Ochocinco, football player. They had Steve Nash, former basketball player. They had a team of the U.S. women's national team had a team as well. It was a very popular in June. I'll say that. A lot of people went to the games. A lot of people watched. So hopefully it comes back next season.
That $1 million prize on the line.
I'm not saying it again.
Yeah, and that's something I'm gonna bring that up again later. Because there's a question I want to ask you guys that was brought up in another tournament, which we'll talk about here in a little while.
Okay. So I guess then if we're going to go with the full-on chronological order, 7 days before the trade that we've already kind of started talking about and then pulled back was the re-signing of Utica's new anchor on the back line, Stefan Mijatovic, to a 3-year deal. So that will keep him on the blue turf here in the Handshake City through the 25-26 season.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously a big deal.
Yeah, big signing, of course. I think going into the offseason, that was a big question mark for Utica fans. Will Gordy resign? Will Steph resign? And I mean, a lot of sighs of relief when that signing took place.
To take things slightly out of order, I think it's worth mentioning that something that was touched on last season is the pairing, Steph and Gordy.
Yeah.
And Gordy's re-signed slightly after Steph, literally like 2 weeks afterwards. So it was good to see those two back together because, you know, as you've said, Mr. Statman, we have definitely done a heck of a lot better when both of them are on the field together. I don't remember the exact stat, so don't quote me. But I just remember we talked about it at length.
Yeah, at one point they made sure to let me know that, you know, since they were playing together, they were undefeated up until I think that Milwaukee playoff game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, we had Gordy, we had Steph. We also had Taylor Bond last year come in via trade. He actually was, they actually extended his deal for 2 years. So I didn't realize it. I thought he was a free agent after this season, but he is not. So he's coming back as well. And that was a big concern for me. I wanted all of them back, and we have them back. So
yeah, I can't say I have any complaints about him sticking around. Nope. That's good. Like he didn't show much initially, and then he started to come into his own. I think once the team chemistry kind of started coming together.
Yep, I think that's going to boil over to this season as well. I think we're gonna see more of Taylor Bond being his old self,
which is absolutely going to be necessary for reasons we'll talk about a bit later. So in between those two re-signings, that's when the big trade happened. Utica sent Pepe Vieira, Damon Almazan, and the rights to Diego Zuniga to the Empire Strikers, and in return they got Mohamed Ndiaye, otherwise known as Big Mo. And I don't think I need to say too much about him for anyone that listened before, because I was banging the drum for them to sign him before the 22-23 season. And he's just shown a bit of versatility. He was playing out of the back last year for Empire. Yep. He's a big dude, 6'3", can easily go back up top where he was in St. Louis in 2021 and 22. 19 goals and 24 assists that year as the focal point of the St. Louis offense.
Yep.
Just another weapon on offense, and he's shown the willingness and ability to play out of the back as well.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's definitely a welcome trade. I mean, we had not seen. I understood why we were holding on to Diego in the hopes that we could get him on the field, but it's been 2 years that we've had him signed, and I think we played him. Okay, yeah, I was thinking it might be a little bit longer.
4 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've basically the only time I remember seeing him play was, I want to say, the preseason game,
the USA Canada preseason game.
Yeah,
and he might have got 1 or 2 games after that before visa issues popped up.
I mean, his rocket that he shot, at least one in that game, was amazing to watch, but we never got to see it in the regular season. So we didn't get really any use out of him whatsoever. No, not really. Not that we really didn't. It's we didn't at all.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think you're going to see those 3 players on Empire this season. I don't think they're going to. I don't think Zuniga will. I don't know if the other 2 will play for Empire.
I mean, Damon for us only played 2 games last season.
Pepe didn't play at all.
Pepe didn't play at all. Yeah.
Yes, so, but it might be. You might see them on their M2 team as works in progress, but I mean, what we got back for those 3, I talked to Mo the day of the trade, and I'll just say he was very excited.
Utica's an exciting place to play. What can we say?
It is, and Matt, you said you were wanting him to be on the team since 22-23.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys remember the first year he played in Baltimore. Came in and was just he took control in Baltimore, and it. I thought to myself, I'm like, boy, I really don't want to play him again. Like, this guy's learning in leaps and bounds the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to St. Louis and put up those numbers, and it's like with I can kind of compare this to Christian Segura. Like, he was on a team where they didn't know what to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's on Utica, and we know Everton works with what he has. And we saw it with Christian. I mean, Christian was lost in San Diego.
Yep.
Came in and has produced since then. And I think you're going to see that. You're going to see Mo coming in, and honestly, I don't know where they're going to put him. Are they going to put him in the front? Are they going to put him in the back? Is it going to be like a hybrid? Is he going to do both?
Is he a replacement for one of the players that we lost?
Later. Possibility. I mean, I know he is capable of doing both. It's just a matter of, I think, free agency is still out there, and there are still players available.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once that happens and the combine happens, we can kind of get a clearer picture as to where he's going to play. I don't think he has a preference. I mean, if I were to ask him right now if he has a preference, I think he would say he has no preference.
Mm-hmm. No. The only thing I know from him is he will not be wearing number 88 that he wore in Ontario or Empire. Oh, it's a good thing that we're not on the Strikers broadcast because I'd be putting $5 in the O jar.
Oh yeah.
All right. So here's a quick aside because I just saw this.
You just did that. I'm telling Philly and the doctor. Okay, I'm telling.
Right. They can chew me out when they come to Utica. Just a quick aside, because I want to kind of just, hey, kudos to us fans for our interactions with the team on social media, which the more, clicks, likes, shares, whatever, gets the sport out there. And I noticed this because I was checking the dates on the announcements just to double check order and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When Gordy's re-signed was announced on Instagram, it got 6,250 likes. Utica only has 7,225 followers. For comparison, the San Diego Sockers, the self-titled Lords of Indoor, have over 12,000 followers on Instagram. Their biggest addition this offseason was adding Drew Ruggles, and it barely got 400 likes. Like, apparently goes to show how passionate Utica fans are, and how well run the social media is in Utica.
Yep, agreed.
So yeah, guys, give yourself a pat on the back.
He actually did it. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
And then we'll turn our attention to the next re-signing, which was Nilton. What?
That.
You got something?
You forgot a trade.
I forgot a trade.
Yes.
Trade am I forgetting?
Outgoing. Still affects Utica. To the Milwaukee Wave. Cesar.
That was not a trade. He was signed.
Okay, fine. It's still it's not a trade, but it is an outgoing from Utica.
I mean, you could technically call it a trade because we signed someone from Milwaukee. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just one happened in late July and the other one happened last week.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. It was an outgoing transaction. How about that? Since it wasn't a trade.
He was a free agent, so it's not even an outgoing transaction.
You know what?
He was on the roster and he's not anymore. What do you want from me?
Free agents matter.
Cesar is no longer on Utica.
Yes,
it kind of sucks because he was starting to, he did show some promise last season. He did do some good for us, and it sucks that he's not there. Would I take him over Steph? No, but he was still a good part of the team. Just saying.
Yeah. So Cesar Correa has signed in Milwaukee, so he will not be back. Happy?
Yes, you may move on now.
I think. I mean, it didn't surprise me. He's from the Chicago area, and I won't say a lot of the players, from Chicago play for. Yeah, I know a few of them that play for Utica.
Mm-hmm. No idea who that could be.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we definitely didn't talk about him already.
I think he still needs more experience. I don't think we saw the full Cesar Correa last year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, no, he got that knee injury in like December and then missed the next 2.5 months. So
when he came back, he contributed. Like, it's not like he just, No,
I'm not saying he didn't, but like, yeah, that knee injury obviously slowed his development quite a bit.
Right.
And then the next re-signing was Nilton De Andrade being brought back. We talked about it. He got snubbed not being in the running for Rookie of the Year. Absolutely great to see him come back. Would love to see him running on the same line as Chino again. Great chemistry between those two. So,
yeah, he should have. He should have won Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt. Well, Gabriel Costa did win Rookie of the Year. I think it was Newcomer of the Year, which is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad they didn't win. I'm mad they didn't get nominated.
Yeah, he didn't get nominated while a player from Dallas who played like 8 games got nominated.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Nilton De Andrade was second. Well, I think you could have made a case for him because he was consistent throughout the year, where Gabriel Costa was more the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But, Costa, that's another big signing for San Diego that we didn't mention. But, Nilton should have been in the running for Rookie of the Year. And year 2, I'm sure we'll see great things from him.
Yeah. I think that was the last. Well, okay. Then, as we mentioned, we got that player from Milwaukee, Cole Stevens. Did not play a game for them last year. Matt, you said you got the scouting report from Coach Jules?
I did. I talked to Milwaukee coach Julian Oliveira when the signing happened. Very athletic, very fast, great left foot, which I love that he's left-footed. So definitely someone we could see. I would imagine teetering on that M1 than the other team, which we will mention here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely interested to see what he has to bring to the table this season.
All right, and that brings us up to yesterday's announcement. As I predicted at the end of the season, our captain, one of our captains, Bo Yelovitz, has announced his retirement. And I don't know if you guys read the piece by Ben Burnell in the Rome Sentinel. He announced his retirement to the team after they lost to Milwaukee. So it's been known for a while on the team side, and now it's public knowledge as well.
Which is interesting because, I think if you were at 72 that night, you knew something was going on.
Exactly what I was going to say, too.
Because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And he's like always there. Not always, but 99% of the time, especially on, like, we'll call it a bigger occasion.
Yeah,
he typically shows. Yeah, end of the season especially, to celebrate and hang out. Well, celebrate or, wallow in our defeat together. But yeah, he's almost always there. And for him to not be there, it was noticeable.
Yeah, and I think from that point on, there were rumblings of the retirement, and Bo ran several camps over the summer, and my nephew was a part of one of them. He actually asked Bo, and Bo said pretty much was pretty sure he was retiring, and then Hannah was in a camp with him, and I could tell that I think while he loves soccer,
Mm-hmm.
I think him wanting to start a family is definitely more important, and I mean that's great. I know he'll be a great dad if that does happen. But I kind of saw it coming. And for me, it's tough. I mean, you saw my post. For those of you that didn't see my post, it's on In the Box. But I've known Bo since he started playing in Syracuse. First jersey I ever bought was his. And he's grown up with my kids. He knows my kids, talks to them all the time. And just, it's tough. I mean, it's tough for everybody. But for those of us that had him in Syracuse as well, it's definitely really, really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that with any sport where you've followed a player for a decade. You know, every time they show the clip of Andy Pettitte and Derek Jeter walking out to take the ball from Mariano Rivera in his last game at Yankee Stadium, I still ball up, and it's been a decade since that happened.
Yeah.
So, he was certainly the emotional leader of the team. So it'll be interesting to see who steps in, and like we said many a time, as Bo goes, so goes the team. So it'll be interesting to see who can step in and fill those shoes in this next year.
I mean, let's not forget, we do still have one remaining captain.
Yes.
It's not like he was captain by himself.
No.
But the emotional center of the team is what I feel he has been in the past. As you said, how Bo goes, so goes the team. I mean, that's just, we've seen that when he starts getting frustrated, the rest of the team gets frustrated. When, he's calm, cool, and collected, the rest of the team, if he's is calm, cool, and collected. If he's confident, they're confident. So yeah, somebody's got to fill that role, and I want to see who steps up.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Andrew Coughlin. I think he can be that person to motivate the team, and I mean, as a goalie, you have to be vocal. So I think he has it. He has that quality in him to become like a co-captain and help Nate with the team. It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up being a co-captain.
I could see that. Yeah, I could get behind that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he certainly has that fire to him that Bo had, where as Nate leads in another way. He's that calming presence, the steadying hand, kind of that yin and yang coupling there for your leaders.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys. I had thought of this a while ago, or when it happened, I kind of thought of it. So, what would be your favorite Bo memory over the last few years?
So you're asking what our favorite Bowman was?
My God.
I've been sitting on that one for 2 days.
Oh God, it hurts. Oh,
well, this is a one-time thing, I think. Yes, we'll go with that. Your favorite Bowman.
Brandon, I'll let you go because I got to stop laughing at my own dumb comedy.
Oh, you're just gonna put me on the spot, huh? Is that what we're doing here? You want to just put me on the spot? Okay. All right. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can handle myself. So, I mean, there's been a few where on or off the field, I can think of one that, is more off the field, actually is just off the field. And that was a certain birthday that someone received a armband, the co-captain armband for their birthday.
Hey guys, Matt here. So my router dropped out at this point in our recording, and from here on out, my audio is going to be a little spotty because I had to run the hotspot of my phone, and this transition is going to be a little wacky just because of how the call dropped on my end. Hopefully before the season I can get a new router and then we won't have to worry about these issues. So until then, enjoy the rest of the episode. Thanks for listening.
So, best moment. Like I said, I'm actually going to give this. I'm going to give this one to an off the field moment, and that was for our friend Michael, who basically we were in 72. He happened, we all happened to tell Bo, and he came in like, hey, it's his birthday, and he wanted to get, a picture or something signed from Bo, and Bo's like, hang on, I'll be right back. Goes over to his bag, comes back, gives him his armband, and just watching Michael's face just light up was coolest moment. Like normally you see that kind of stuff with like just the kids and things like that. So being able to see it with an adult, it shows that he's not just doing it for the kids, and it just shows that Bo's just a solid, good person, on and off the field. Like, yeah, he's a great player, but he's also a good person. So that's my 2 cents. Like, that's got to be one of my favorite all-time moments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one that shows the type of person he is. Mine, still, I got to go back to the inaugural season and the infamous "Oh Said a Bad Word" campaign.
Yes.
Yes.
Where Bo got a red card and then missed the next game. And the minds at Utica were like, you know what? We can use this to our advantage. Yeah, we might not have our captain for a game, but we're going to turn it into marketing. And we got... I think that was the same time they did coloring for Bo Said a Bad Word.
Yep.
And didn't it happen in the Milwaukee game after he crushed the Milwaukee's best cam?
I don't know. I don't know if it was that game. I don't think it was.
When did he get that red card?
Yeah, that one I don't remember either. It was
early in the year. I remember that.
Yes.
18, 19.
I want to... I don't know.
He's looking it up, folks.
But he is looking it up. So while you're looking it up,
yeah,
I'll give you a few of them. Because, like I said, I've watched Bo over the last, 10 years. So I'll kind of give you a few of them.
Yes, it was the Milwaukee game.
Oh, it was the Milwaukee game. Okay.
Yeah. For abusive language, which
it was one of the Bryans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how dare he?
I know. So yeah, I mean that was a great one. And it carried over from one marketing campaign to the next one, and so the first one I'm going to go back a few years, and I'll have to pull up the video. It's on YouTube. It was one of Bo's greatest shots I've ever seen. I believe it was Syracuse versus Baltimore, and this was multi-point scoring. He hit it from behind the yellow line. It was like top corner, like perfect. Place went nuts. I was right in the direct line of seeing it. It was right next to me, so I'll always remember that one. He had one similar in a game against Florida, where the announcer said that was a heat-seeking missile, and it curled up into the top right corner. That was a good shot. And then last year, I'm going to go back to last year where he scored the game winner against Harrisburg in overtime. I mean, he took the team on his back during overtime, stole the ball from Francis, passed to Mijatovic, back to Bo, top shot.
Yep.
So those are some moments, if you will, on the field. And then, I mean, the numerous times he's talked to Hannah, called Hannah. I mean, I could sit here for an hour and just tell you all sorts of different stories. But yeah, those are just some of the few that I can think of off the top of my head.
No, he has absolutely etched his name into Utica City FC lore.
100%.
And, that goes all the way back to the very first game after they moved down the thruway. On the road at Harrisburg to start the 18-19 season, the first goal of the game came on an assist from Bo Yelovitz.
Yep, he cemented his legacy in Utica for sure. But, if it's time for him to hang it up, then it's time for him to hang it up. It's as Huber said, there are more important things in life than soccer.
Yeah. And as I jokingly put on my personal Instagram story was, all right, over under 6.5 games that Bo and Joey are in the beer garden to cheer on their friends.
Over. It's over.
That's going to be an easy over. I should have said it at like 9.5. Yeah.
Before the year 2024.
Obviously, we wish him the best in his retirement. Thank him for all his memories. And obviously, his presence will be missed on the field. But
yes, sir.
Time goes on, and so must we. So must this team. It is for the team to make another announcement. Just this morning, it was announced that I'm going to probably slaughter the name pronunciation on it because I'm not Eastern European in any way. United Elite Krajiznik? I don't know. UEKFC, the almost academy.
No, you don't know what you just said.
What? Oh, yeah. I realize now, what it sounds like. It sounded like I said you eat KFC. Yes. We got to get a pronunciation on that.
I mean, I could go for some KFC right now. Yeah, I'm cool with
that.
The Rochester Lancers are going to be facing UEK.
Announced a partnership with Utica as an MASL2 affiliate. Games will be played either at the Nexus Center or as part of a doubleheader in the Odd. And this is a huge opportunity to develop talent locally. United Elite already has programs to train kids from as young as 3 up until the UPSL. They play in the women's division, as well as the men's premier and D1. So they have 2 men's teams and a women's team, and now they're adding an indoor team.
And we wanted this to happen. Like, I think, and I'm just kind of saying this not as a homer or anything, but I think a perfect spot for an M2 team is in Utica.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the fan base. You've got the Nexus Center where you could fit 1,500 people for a game. So it's definitely conducive to a successful team. Definite win for Utica. I'm very excited that that UEKFC is a part of that too now.
I finally stopped snickering, and then you brought it back around. Why? Why do you have to do this to me?
Well, you know,
it's Krajisnik.
That's how it's spelled, but according to the internet, they pronounce it like Krajisnik.
I mean, I went to how to pronounce, and I literally listened to it, and that's how it pronounced it, is how I put it in the chat.
Dictionary. Can't. It's Serbo-Croatian, so maybe we'll just ask Bo how to pronounce it in the beer garden. Yeah. We already have guys that play on their Premier League side, or Premier Division side, with Alava, Somau, and oh my god, I posted it on 3 or 4 different social media accounts yesterday, and I can't think of it now. Who the third guy is?
He is drawing a blank.
Oh, Rafa. Rafa's the third one. Duh.
It's okay, because I didn't know it either.
There, I typed the pronunciation in the chat.
That worked.
I don't think that's right. I don't trust that one at all.
That's certified.
But speaking of, M2, it's definitely, it's something 100% something we've talked about that we believe needed to be in Utica, something we needed in Utica, especially, I think, personally, I think what prompted this was Baltimore taking on Rochester as their M2 team. Mm-hmm. That really kind of that's what makes me think that kind of prompted this, kind of pushed this forward, is the fact like, hey, they did it. Now we need to do it. And I mean, I think it's the right move because, if we're potentially just, having certain people on the roster that aren't going to be doing anything for us, they can play there and still stay fresh.
So here's the interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Baltimore has their own M2 team now. It's the Baltimore Arsenal or something like that.
I prefer their M3 side, the Salisbury Stakes.
That's a great name.
That is the best name.
I am so glad that they're named the Stakes. I kind of said the joke, and yeah. But yeah, I think Baltimore has their own M2 team now, and this kind of renews the rivalry with Rochester. I mean, yeah, it's on a smaller level, but it brings back that interstate rivalry that Utica and Rochester had when they were both in the MASL, and now you have it on the M2 side.
No, I totally agree. That's something that myself and Michelle were talking about, is the fact that, hey, we've got the throughway rivalry going again, which is great for us fans because now we can watch more soccer. Yay!
Oh. Well, and now we have a home M2 team, and now we can go to possibly Rochester and watch our team play Rochester. And
Yep.
There's a lot more opportunities to watch indoor soccer.
Yeah. Go grab some more chicken wings that melt our faces off, and I can forget my wallet again, and lots of fun times.
We could leave Keeper's Corner podcast, or no, what was it that we left in the restroom at the?
There were stickers for Keeper's Corner podcast. Left them in the bathroom.
Yeah,
hooligans, bunch of hooligans. I swear, I can't take y'all anywhere. You know, just
that was the drive where the superstructure meme was invented.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Right.
Vandals, bunch of vandals.
If you think us three are bad just on a podcast, stick us in a car for a couple hours.
It's like Utica after dark. Gets weird.
The trip to Harrisburg was
the most recent one.
Yes,
but it was awesome, and it
was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it was awesome. But
minus the snow. The snow was a bit much, but we made it. We survived.
We did.
The biggest question is, but did you die? That's the question that, either you can answer it or you can't.
I can. I did not die that day.
Anyway, That's my tangent. Listen, I'm just here for the comic relief.
That brings us up to date on all the news Utica related. Obviously, we got a couple more weeks until the schedule is released, and then the combine will be in October at the Nexus Center, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, we're going to have people like myself once again showing up at the Thanksgiving Eve hockey game with the Comets, just so you can see who from Utica City will be on the ice doing the turkey toss.
Yeah. So a lot of the teams are coming out with home dates for. Mm-hmm. Now, have you guys looked into it? I thought I put something out there in a group chat, like what I thought was the first possible home game. I want to say, if I were a betting person, I would say it's got to be end of November, early December, because Milwaukee's is December 9th.
Mm-hmm. Sidekicks are also December 9th.
St. Louis has a Black Friday game. Yeah. So I think if you're a Utica fan, you're probably looking at like December 3rd, like the 3rd or the 10th. I don't know. I'd have to look at the Utica Comets schedule, but
the 3rd's the most likely. The Comets are on the road the 2nd and the 3rd. And then they will be home on Sunday the 10th. And if I remember correctly, the 9th, there's a WWE event in the odd as well.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry, I know, because I literally just bought tickets for it today.
Yeah, so I would imagine Utica City probably have like a December 3rd game. Yeah, so that's my guess for our home date. So yeah, we're looking less than 3 months away for our first home game.
Mm-hmm. I just think we don't have any home games at that point, and we just, because of arena availability, and we just get awarded points. I like that idea.
We don't want to. So before we end the show, ask you guys. So I mentioned the soccer tournament, the TS that happened in June, and for those of you that didn't watch, towards the end of the game, actually what it was is they had two halves, and it ended like, let's say for example it was like 2-0, or whatever. Wait, was it 2 halves? They ended the second half, and then they went into like an extra time, to which they had to score, the winning team had to score 1 more goal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were up 3-1 on a team, the ending score would be 4.
Yes.
And every 5 minutes, they took a player off of the field until, or whoever got to 4. Now, I brought this up because at the Kings Cup tournament that happened just recently out in California, one of the announcers mentioned bringing it into the MASL. And I wanted to get your take on it. Like, do you think that would be a good thing for the league?
Brandon, do you want to go first, or you want me to?
Oh no, I went first.
Okay.
For the moment, you're not putting me out front of the bullet again.
I'll say it. I hated it for that tournament. I know where it comes from because the same guys that run the TST run the TBT, the basketball tournament.
Yeah, the
and they have the Elam ending, where at the first dead ball after 4 minutes or less are remaining in the game, they add 8 points to the lead, and then whoever scores to that target wins. And that's great in basketball because there's always all those fouls and dragging it out and foul shots, and before you know it, the last 2 minutes turn into 20 minutes.
Right.
That's not an issue in soccer.
Right.
And we saw it with the championship game, where, if I remember correctly, in that it was 2 halves, and then at the 10-minute mark, with remaining in the second half, or maybe like the 5-minute mark, that's when they pulled it out and added it. And then it took another 25 minutes anyway to get 1 goal. So you just made the game longer instead of shorter, which was the goal with the Elam ending. Is it cool that the game ends on a goal? Yeah, but it doesn't add anything in a high-scoring sport like arena soccer, where there's already a ton of action, and there's generally not a lot of dead ball time.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. I mean, I didn't really get to watch any of the tournament, but I don't know. It sounds overcomplicated, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just
no. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Like, I like I kind of like how it is. I mean, I just think it works. It works for the sport, and it works for this league personally. But I don't know. That's just me.
Well, no, I completely agree with both of you. Although I will admit, I did like the way the TST did the ending. Taking people off of the field kind of made it more open, more action-packed. But I'm going to say this because there are people out there that are soccer purists that hated multi-point scoring. This, I think, is another gimmicky thing.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I do love multi-point scoring. I think people should get rewarded for scoring outside of the arc. But people think that's gimmicky, and I think this is another gimmick to put on the league. Save it for the soccer tournament. Let them have that.
And it worked because
I don't think the league needs to do it.
And it worked because it was still outdoor soccer, so the ball was going out of bounds, play was stopping. You had a lot more goal kicks, and In some games it happened quickly, but then there were the other ones where it just dragged the game out that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I'm remembering correctly, the game was already 2-0, and then they added an extra 15 minutes of game time, and the other team didn't do anything. It ended up like a 3-0 championship.
Yeah, it was 3-0. So yeah, that's I thought of that, and I'm like, I'll bring it up tonight because I mean, while I think it was a cool idea, I don't think the league should put it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another gimmick.
Agreed. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Save it for the NISL.
Yeah.
They need all the attention they can get to.
Don't even get me.
Yeah, that's. So yeah, we should have schedules and alignment announced here before the end of September. At least that's what the league put out a few months back. Like we've already talked, like Matt brought up, teams have started putting out their home opener dates. It's almost soccer time, guys.
Yeah. Exciting times.
I think I can hold out for a month or so. I might have to sift back through the archives and watch some old games.
Yeah, I'll see how football season goes for the Titans, and that'll help or hurt my ability to.
I've already started looking into indoor soccer season after the horrible display I saw this past Sunday night from a certain football team who shan't be named.
It was a historic game, though. No team had ever lost by, 40 points, and had a blocked field goal taken for a touchdown and a pick six, and lost the sack battle 3-0 or more, and lost 7-0 or more in the turnover battle 3-0 or more in the same season. And they did it all in one night.
You're cutting in and out pretty bad. I didn't hear most of that, but yeah.
It sounded okay on my end, so maybe I'm sure the recording will be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
I can't say anything. My team didn't score a touchdown. They just got 5 field goals.
Hear me sobbing over here. That's all. No big.
It's been a long baseball season, so I am ready for indoor soccer.
Yes. Yep.
Will you eat KFC?
Maybe. It is kind of like on the way.
They might have to
pick it up.
We'll see.
Should we just get like one of the big family packs and show up to the game and be like, you eat KFC?
And you're done. And you're done. Cut off. Done.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't let us bring it in the odd.
No, probably not.
Unless we met up with one of the players and they snuck it in.
It's true.
Yes, contacts. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Coach, here's your jersey. Please ignore the KFC that's inside of it, but we'll be grabbing that.
Don't touch the bucket.
Yeah, take it. Booth. That'd be great. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight?
Sogs.
Yeah, find your button.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. So, Sogs.
Yes.
It's the best I got.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Oh, I'm good.
All right. Well, that being said, to everybody that listens, however many that is, we thank you for listening. We had kind of a random episode drop. We're going to let Matt plug his pluggables here. Matt, where can the people find you?
In the box. Usually I announce shows a few days beforehand. This week, if this comes out Thursday, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, I will be live with Robert Palmer of the Empire Strikers. We'll talk about the soccer tournament, what he's been up to this summer, and why he scored 4 goals against Utica City a few years ago. But besides that, yeah, in the box on Facebook.
All right, there you have it.
And soon to be a season ticket holder in section 212.
Woo! About time.
You can find us on Instagram, the social media site formerly known as Twitter because I refuse to call it its new dumb name. Facebook, search for Keeper's Corner Podcast. We even got on Threads for whenever that other site finally goes belly up. If they go belly up.
Oh, you mean you talking about the 24th letter of the alphabet?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The Edgelord one.
Yes.
Yeah, that
one. That's pretty much everything for us. Thank you for listening. We'll see you at the games. Before that, we may see some of you at the Combine. Till next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
And that's the other Matt.
I'm going to bed.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Take it easy. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing. Go Utica City.